In this video, I'm going to walk you through step by step on how I film these fishing videos, from the gear I use, to the mics I use, to the camera locations that I have, and of course to the catching fish on camera. The fact of the matter is, I've filmed a lot of fishing videos, and the main thing that I've learned over the years is not as hard as it seems. So stick with me, stay tuned, and let's get started. Many years ago when I was a kid and I would be watching fishing videos on YouTube, the coolest thing about it was, to me, was that I wish I could make those videos. And it seemed like such a far-fetched idea back then. It seems like something I would never be smart enough to pull off. And I'm here to tell you, it's not as hard as it looks. And so this is a step-by-step video on how I film my fishing videos. So last year I filmed a video called How to Film Your Duck Hunts. And it was a very similar style video than what you're gonna see today. However, that was about filming my duck hunt. So I wanted to come back and make a fishing video. I got a lot of good response from that video. And so I wanted to bring it over into the fishing world and make a very similar video today. But the first thing we have to do is decide on a goal. And what do I mean by a goal? A goal is, what is the goal of my video? Am I just purely documenting what I'm doing? Or am I trying to build a brand like the HUNTxCOOP brand or somebody else's brand? So there are two different styles of videos. So once we establish a goal, and so we have an end product that we're trying to get to, then we'll know how to backtrack and work our way to that goal. So guys, in my channel, when I first started filming videos, it was all I could do to get like the boat flip on camera. And I thought that was the coolest thing ever. Like I said, when I got started, I really thought YouTube was a far-fetched deal. At the beginning, it was a documentation phase, okay? I just purely wanted to document my trips with my buddies, wanted to learn from my mistakes, and also just wanted to have cool clips of me catching fish. I mean, who doesn't want to have that? If you're watching this video, you definitely want to have that. But then slowly my channel started growing towards a more professional style video. I'm nowhere near the professional content that you guys probably watch on other channels. There's a marked difference between where I started and where I am today, and that's what we're going to talk about today, because I shifted my goal from being in the documentation phase to then going on to trying to make a video that at least somebody would like to watch, that's not bored to tears while they're watching it. All right, step two is we're going to decide on gear, and let's start with cameras first. If I'm in a documentation stage, literally all I need is a GoPro. They range from $300 to $400 brand new online, or you can buy them on Facebook Marketplace for a lot cheaper than that. But literally all you need is a GoPro. Now, when I first started this channel, I wore it on a head mount. I'm not a huge fan of that now, because when you're fishing and you've got the filming on the head, every time you turn your head and you're looking around, it can get kind of dizzy for the viewer. I know, because I edit the videos. And so, I kind of got away from that. Where I started mounting my GoPros was on my chest. I have a simple chest mount right here. GoPro makes it. This is what I would recommend if you're just going out to film your first fishing video ever. I would recommend you get one of these and a GoPro. I do the GoPro Hero 10 and the Hero 12 are the two that I have. They're the same style GoPro. The one's just a little bit newer, and I've been very pleased with these. The GoPro's products themselves is just a good product. DJI makes a similar style camera. Never have used them. I'm sure they're great, but I've always just started with GoPro, and I would just mount these on my chest, and I would go out and film a fishing video, Oh, there he is, let's go. But because we like different camera angles that we'll talk about in a minute, I actually carry two GoPros with me on a fishing trip. I'll carry the 10 and the 12, and I put the 12 on my chest and I put the 10 behind me to film the back shot. Now, that's what I would consider the basic entry-level camera. The next step though, if you wanted higher quality videos and you wanted more of a cinematic style camera, then I went to the Nikon Z30. The Nikon Z30 is what I have pictured here on the screen. It's a relatively cheap camera for what it is, and it's a very versatile camera. I really liked it. It comes with a creator pack where you get the Rode shotgun mic, you get several other items, as well as the lens and the camera itself. It's great for vlogging style videos, and so I really love that camera as a middle of the road sort of option. If you've just already got started and you're trying to make a step up, that's the one I would recommend. Now, once you're really getting into it and you decide you want to upgrade your camera big time, that's when you would go for the larger jump. The one I use is a Canon EOS R. Both the lenses and the body are worth several $1,000s a piece, and so that's not just wading into video money, so it took me a long time to get up to that point, but that's what you're watching me on today, is the Canon EOS R. And here in a minute, when we show different camera angles, I'll show you how that works into my fishing video. The last camera that I use, but I use it mostly for transition style clips and small clips and things that really add depth to your video, and that is the drone. Okay, this is a DJI Mini 2. I got this on Facebook Marketplace for for 300 bucks. So I know that this is a cheaper version. I mean, they're out there for pretty cheap, and this one really gets the job done. It films in HD. It's fairly easy to use. I will film with the drone, and I will get kind of depth shots and depth pieces, and I'll send that drone up and let it watch me while I'm running in my boat, like the clip you're seeing here. But I also use it, you know, I'll fly it up and kind of give you guys a feel of where I'm fishing. You know, I might be fishing in a swamp or something like what I'm sitting in right now, and I would give you guys, it gives you guys more of a picture, and again, it adds depth to that video. It may just be the thing that gets somebody to stick with you and keep watching that video. So then that would bring us to step 3, is we gotta find our audio channels. We gotta figure out how to do the audio right, because guys, the most important thing about a fishing video in terms of views, if you're wanting somebody to view your video, you have to have good audio. If you don't have good audio, you could have the best fishing video in the world and nobody would even watch it because the audio is so unbearable. If you're just going for the documentation stage and you're just trying to literally film what you're doing and you're not even really worried about it or talking to the camera or anything, the audio doesn't matter at all. That's just up to you. But if you're trying to make a video like mine, which is what this video is about, a vlog style video, the audio is the most important part. Now, in terms of microphones, let's go back to the GoPro, okay? When we're filming with the GoPro, the audio on a GoPro is surprisingly decent. And what I like about it is, you know, it does pick up a pretty good sound. However, the problem I have with GoPro, specifically with fishing videos, is every day that you're out on the water, it's extremely windy. What GoPros don't do well is block the wind at all. In either scenario, duck hunting or fishing, I have wind trouble every time. So what I've done is I got these Rode lavalier mics that you see here. This is the Rode wireless mic, and it comes with a 3-pack. One is on top of my camera right now. It's like the hub, and I've got 2 microphones. So what I do is I either put it on my GoPro or I put it on the big camera that you're watching me here today. Whatever's my back shot on my video, which we'll talk about in a minute, that's where the hub goes. And so it needs to be on a camera that's going to be filming all day long. Again, we'll talk about this in a second, but you don't want to lose a second's worth of audio. They will record audio independently, meaning you don't have to have a video to hear the audio, but then it's hard to match it back up, in my opinion, in the editing process. So I never do that. I put it on a camera that I know is going to be running all day long, and I have this mic with me, so I know I'm going to get good audio the whole time. Bottom line is, guys, when you're filming your first fishing video or you're filming one like mine, the audio is the most important thing. Just don't overthink it. I've made a lot of videos out there with no microphones or anything like that, but I'm just letting you know the obstacles that I've run in over the years so you can skip that and be better at making videos than I ever was. Now, step 4 is going to be setting your angles right. Okay, these are going to be, we're going to talk now about how you set up your camera angles, and everybody's boat's going to be different, whether you're fishing out of a kayak or an actual bass boat or a john boat like the one I got, or even walking on the bank. You're going to have to be versatile with some of these camera angles. However, this is how I do it in my boat. I like to have 3 angles in a video for the most part. It's going to be a back shot like you're seeing now. There's multiple ways to do this, and there's multiple ways I've done it over the years, but right now you're looking at my GoPro on a stick that I'll talk about in a minute, and this is my favorite shot for filming a fishing video. The other one is the back left corner of my boat. I have a suction mount for my GoPros that I will put back there and actually get more of a wide angle back left shot like what you're seeing here. This kind of adds depth again, just sort of a different angle. And then I like to do my chest mount, obviously. However, when you're watching the chest mount, you're losing a lot of depth when you're watching those clips. It's just all you can see is arms and casting and catching the fish, but you can't see like the back shot. That's why I like the back shot. I try to, when I edit the videos, I try to have as much back shot as I can in the video so the viewers are actually able to see the broad picture of what I'm doing, and then I will actually jump back and forth in the editing process from my chest mount to the back shot, and then I'll throw up a drone every now and then and kind of I'll use that as transitional. When I'm out here filming a fishing video and you guys are watching my 12-minute long fishing videos, it may have taken me 5.5 hours to make that 12-minute video, just because, you know, maybe the fishing's slow and I'm not able to catch anything, and it's multiple hours in between fish bites. My scenes change, I change location, I change spot, I change a bait. multiple things change in between the time I caught one fish and the time I caught another fish. Well, you have to account for that transition in your video. So what I like to do then is I like to have multiple drone clips every day when I go fishing, just to have that extra background, very similar to B-roll that I talked about in the duck hunting video. I just like to use that as a transitional clip to move on to the next fish. All right, so now we've got the fishing setup that I normally run every time I go do a fishing video. I've got the chest mount here that's on my chest filming out, and then I've got the backdrop here. And so I'm gonna be, obviously I'm fishing off the back of my boat. And so if I was gonna be filming a fishing video right now and casting and talking, this is how I would do it. So this is my preferred way to do it. So I've got the backdrop that again gives me the whole depth. You guys can see that I'm fishing in a creek right now. I'm in the back of it. You guys can see the bank. You can tell that it's late on a summer afternoon and that sun is setting behind us, giving us good light this way. But on the chest mount right here, you can see me cast, and then you can see me reel, and you can also see when I set the hook, things like that. And it kind of gives a different perspective. And so when I talk with my hands and I say, oh, look at that log over there, you can see what I'm pointing at. But vice versa, if I want a back shot on me setting the hook on a fish or something like that, you know, I like to use that clip there. But that is what I flip back and forth between, is I go the backdrop here and I've got my chest mount there. And between those two, most cases I can get any clip that I need to make a fishing video. And let's talk about what actual content I need to have in my video for a second, because, you know, when you're making a fishing video, it has to have certain qualities like catching a fish. You know, that's relatively important if you're making a video. What I like to have is 2 to 3 fish catches, because guys, to be honest with you, sometimes it's hard to even get that. And so if I have greater than 1 fish that I've caught that day, then I will make a fishing video out of it. Now, what I also need is multiple hours of back shot footage, multiple hours of chest footage, as well as an intro, an outro, and some drone clips, and some B-roll. Okay, so I get those throughout the day. I like to come out and catch my fish and then fill in the gaps, and I'll do the drone shots and everything like that. But that's what I need to actually film a video. If I catch 2 or 3 fish, that's gonna be my 12 to 15 minute video that you guys are used to seeing me put out. If you're coming out again to make your first fishing video, you go and buy a GoPro, you've got your first GoPro, you've got some batteries, and you're going out and you're going to film your first video, you try to catch a fish or 2. And if you can do that, catch a fish or 2, bring it back, come and edit that video and make sure it's a good quality video on the editing side of things. It allows you to be faster with your editing process, as well as it's a lot easier, it's less footage, that sort of thing. And that'll allow you to get a good quality video on your first go. Now, step 5 is going to be making sure all of your cameras stay recording. Okay, I used to make this mistake when I was really early on and I was still filming on my head GoPro mount. The biggest mistake I made was waiting for the fish to bite, and once I felt the bite, I hurried up and tried to click my GoPro on, and then I had to wait a second before it started recording, and then I was trying to set the hook. So what was happening was I was either losing the fish because it was 5 or 6 seconds before I could set the hook, or I ended up jumping the gun, setting the hook too early, and I completely missed it before the GoPro even turned on, and then all you guys see is me reeling in a fish. This video I'm playing right now is the exact instance of what I'm talking about. All the clips start when I'm reeling in a fish because I was waiting until I would get a bite to even turn it on, and so that's not the way I want to do it. The reason I was doing it back then that way is because the batteries in the GoPros go out so quickly, especially when it's extremely hot. GoPros are notorious for overheating. And so those batteries, you'll run through the batteries and they'll overheat the camera. So the most important thing is you have to keep your camera batteries going. So for the mount on my chest, I have an external battery pack. You can buy these on Amazon for 20 bucks. And it actually, I put it in my pocket like you're seeing now on this clip. I have the external battery pack in my pocket, but what that allows me to do is to keep the batteries out of the GoPro. So on my GoPro here, I've got a door that allows the wire to go through, so I can hardwire, I can plug it into my battery pack and have it running all the time. As long as your SD card is big enough, I have it running all the time, all day long. And that's been super helpful when I'm filming my fishing videos. Because again, the main issue I was running into was running out of batteries. I mean, I bought like 12 batteries at one time, and I was just having to charge them every night before I went fishing and everything. And then I would burn through them so quick. I was like, there's gotta be a better way. Well, there is. I use the battery pack, put it in my pocket, and that allows me to film all day. On my back shot, that's the most important part in my opinion on the one that I need filming all day. And what I do is I use the YOLOTech Juice Bank. This is the Generation 4 model. You can find them on their website, and the website's going to be linked below. I'm not affiliated with them at all. I just really like their products. And I was skeptical at first. I didn't know what to expect. But when I purchased it and I actually ran it on my GoPros, it was like I could film all day long on my GoPro, and the battery bank would still have 2 or 3 bars left out of 4. I can charge my YOLOTech box once every couple fishing trips instead of like all the time. And that was really helpful to me, and it allows it to, you know, it just mounts, your GoPro just mounts straight on top of it. So this is just sitting there like that with a GoPro above it, and it just allows you to be a lot more versatile with your fishing videos. Now, what I like to use for my backdrop camera, I've done it a lot of different ways. I told you guys I used to do the suction mount on the back left part of the Porta-John, and then I went to a tripod version. As you can see right here, I have a tripod set up with my camera on top, and so you're watching me and I'm filming this, and so that gives you a good idea of what I used to do on the backdrop for this camera and others that I've used over the years. But as you can imagine, when you shake and rock the boat, the camera kind of moves around a lot, and if that tripod isn't set in there the way it needs to be, sometimes it can fall over. So I try to avoid that, and the product I have found to be super cool, again, is the YOLOTech stick. It's like the 6-foot stick on their website. I've had it for a couple years now, and I actually mounted in the back seat hole of my boat, and it's a perfect angle for that GoPro to be on the backdrop and be filming all day long. All right, guys, that's a full beginner's guide on how to film your first fishing video, a step-by-step tutorial on how to film your first fishing video. What I didn't talk at all today about is how to edit the actual video. That varies a lot according to personalities and subscriptions and stuff like that. If you guys want a video like that, drop it in the comments, and I'll certainly do a video like that. But right now, I was just discussing the filming aspect of it. So if you like this video, go ahead and hit the like button. It really helps the channel out a lot. Guys, you guys are sharing these videos like crazy, getting a lot of good feedback from the audience, guys, so I really appreciate it. Continue to share these videos. That's the single most important thing you can do to help the channel, is share the video. If you like what I had to say in this video and you wanted a more descriptive version of everything I'm saying, check out my website, HUNTxCOOP.com. You can go there and find the blog for this website. Every single video I make on my YouTube channel, I also write a blog referencing the same video. So guys, if you wanted to see a typed out version of what we're talking about today with links and stuff you can click on, it may be a lot easier for you to go read the blog, which is on the HUNTxCOOP.com website. So guys, thank you for watching this video. I hope you got something out of it today. Remember to share it to your friends that need to see it, and I will see you on the next one.